comment.
It's Joe Benigno Evan Roberts on the Fan.
What? You know? Whatever score that you want to vote about.
Look, that fan, we qualify for jackets. No, you're wrong, bro.
They suck. Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's obviously a very, really rough night for the Mets and for the Met fans as they lose 5-4 in 14 innings. Game 1 of the World Series, a game where the Mets really should have won the game. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. Reminded me a lot of Game 1 of the series they lost to the Yankees in 2000. They had a 3-1 lead in this game. Harvey gave it up. They had a 4-3 lead with two outs to go in the ninth inning, and Familia gives up the game-timing home run to Alex Gordon. They hang in there for a while, and then eventually David Wright makes the error that sets up the game-winning sac fly by Hosmer in the 14th against Bartolo Colon. What can you say, bro? This is a game the Mets should have won, and a very difficult loss.
I thought a Game 1 of the World Series in 2000 as the bottom of the ninth inning was starting.
Yep.
And
I hear you.
That's not a knock on Jay Roos.
Right. He's not Armando Benitez.
No, he's not. Even giving up that home run to Alex Gordon.
Of course.
But you fear that because that's the last, moments you think of the last time the Met being in a World Series, because that series ended when Paul O'Neill worked that great at-bat against Armando Benitez. The series was over. I'm not saying the series is over. This Met team is a lot better than that 2000 team, but that was a freaking gut-wrenching loss. And the Royals reminded you, for any Met fan who hadn't seen a Royals game all year, that's the Kansas City Royals.
Yep.
They're never out of a game.
Never.
They're pains in the asses. That's what they are. If you're not a fan of them right now, that's what they are. They're complete pains, but they're damn good. And they find a way to win. And when I couldn't sleep last night, because God knows I slept for 5 minutes last night, I really wasn't angry at that many individual guys. Jay Roos made a bad pitch, and he made a bad decision. There's no reason to quick pitch Alex Gordon right there. None. You've got nasty stuff. You throw 95, 96. You throw a splitter nobody could hit. Just throw the freaking baseball. You don't have to, do anything like quick pitching. You don't have to try that garbage. And that probably led to a 1-1 fat pitch across the middle that Alex Gordon hit 500 feet. I'm not even that mad at Matt Harvey, though he did give back a lead in the sixth inning. That's not usually something aces do, but whatever. I digress. But you know who angered me? The captain. And I get it. He works his rear end off to get out in the field every day, and I respect it. I really do. I respect the crap out of David Wright. And like you said yesterday, I'd love for him to be the World Series MVP.
I would like to see that.
But you got to call it like you see it. And forget about the error. We'll get to that. The 11th inning, the Mets have two men on base. They get that leadoff hit by Juan Lagares, who should have started, Terry. Yeah. He should have started.
He is starting tonight.
Oh, great. Good. One game too late.
He almost was the hero last night with that at-bat.
Him not starting on like 5 levels made no sense, and we said that 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with squarely the Alcides Escobar inside the park home run that Yoenis Cespedes kicked around. I don't know if Yoenis was ready for the start of this game. I know he missed the introductions.
They said he was in a bathroom.
Yeah, he was working on his golf game. I don't know what he was doing, but boy, oh boy, did he look like he didn't give a damn on that fly ball to center field. I know he did, but it looked bad.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
I don't think he ever saw the ball, to be honest.
Well, Juan Lagares should have been in center field.
Yeah, okay.
Juan comes into the game. Obviously, he contributes. He should have been starting to begin with. But how about David Wright against the guy he's owned throughout his career? How about him coming up with a big hit in the 11th inning? Because that, more than any, you could give me all you want about the Gordon home run, and sure, I felt the same way you did, most Met fans did, that the game ended right there. But they had a golden opportunity with the captain against the guy he has seen a lot of in Ryan Madson, a guy he's got good career numbers against. He battled him, and he struck out. And that was just a monstrous at-bat. And then, obviously, the error to start the 14th.
Yep.
You can't make errors against this team. David made an error, and that right there was basically the game. So that is the guy of anybody who angered me the most is I couldn't sleep last night. El Capitan, the captain, David Wright.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, he did have a couple hits earlier on in the game.
How many guys were on base?
Yeah, I'm not.
Zero.
He did. He didn't come up big for him. There's no doubt about it. And you mentioned Cespedes. He had a terrible night. I mean, not only did he misplay the ball in center field, he came up in he did get a hit and actually did score a run on that sac fly by Conforto. He took third nicely on one of the two Duda hits right through the shift, which I thought was pretty good. If you wanted to see something positive, but how about him? He came up in a big spot too later on. I guess was it the inning they took the 4-3 lead? I don't know if it was that or not. But he came up with a couple guys on base and he wound up flying out to left field. He wound up going 1 for 6. He struck out a couple times. He made that bad play in center as well. So, he's another guy that did not exactly get it done last night. But it's not so much that they lost the game to me as how they lost the game. And I think that's it. If they would have lost 10-0 last night, I think I have a better feeling today than I do right now.
Oh, no doubt about it.
I really do.
No doubt about it. Sometimes it's the way you lose that's more than anything else.
Yep.
Now, A-Rod, do me a favor, okay? And I love that, Alex.
Why are you paying attention?
Because they put him on in the middle of the game.
Yeah.
He said at the beginning of the 14th inning,
he did.
I love the situation the Mets are in. That's what he said. So, of course, I'm going to bring him up because he's on my TV telling me the Mets are in the best situation they've been in, and 5 pitches later, the inning was over.
Yeah.
I appreciate that Alex is clearly rooting for the Mets. He clearly is, and that's great. That's fantastic. But when I got to hear him start the 14th inning, where the Mets are battling the Royals and they're making Chris Young look like the second coming, fellas, the Mets are in a great position right now. How are they in a great position, Alex? They had basically 1 hit in 4 innings, and it was an infield bunt hit by Lagares.
Well.
They're in a great position, Alex. I mean, that's the other infuriating thing. Chris Young? Chris Young?
Yeah, no, hey, look, I get it. I understand.
And when did Chris Young throw 90?
Yeah.
When did this happen?
Yeah, well.
I mean, I watched plenty of Chris Young in San Diego, the Mets, the Royals, even this year. Ernie, when did he throw 90? He never threw 90. He's throwing, Joe, he's throwing fastballs by Cespedes.
I hear you.
Are you kidding?
Cespedes had a bad game. I just said it. He was not good last night.
He's throwing fast. Lucas, hey, by the way, Lucas, on 3-1 facing Chris Young, can you not take a fastball right down the middle? Yeah. That blazing 90-mile-an-hour Chris Young fastball. By the way,
can I say, whoever the umpire was behind the play last night was as bad as I've ever seen. And I'm saying that on both teams. I mean, I don't know how many times. I must have said 50 times last night. That's not a strike for both teams. I just want to say that. I don't even know what home plate umpire.
Bill Welke.
Yeah, he was terrible.
I feel naked without that TBS
terrible.
Strike zone thing.
Terrible.
I felt naked without it. I needed to see how far off those pitches were.
We felt naked for a while because we didn't even have to feed it a game for a while.
That's another story.
How screwed up was that, by the way? And then I go right because obviously we see what's happening here, especially when they go back to the studio with Dontrell Willis and I think it was Eric Karros. So I run to the radio to put the game on the radio, and the game's not going on the radio either. I'm like, what's going on?
What are you talking about? I had it on the radio.
No. But they weren't playing.
They stopped it.
Yeah, they stopped.
You know what happened?
They stopped the game.
As soon as the feed wasn't working, I freaked out, and I quickly popped on the radio.
Yeah,
and I heard one of the rare Matt Harvey strikeouts. He struck out Kendrys Morales.
He only had 2 last night.
2 of them. And the Mets as a team, they had 7 strikeouts. John Neese was the team leader in strikeouts by a pitcher. Yeah. So I flip on the broadcast, and right after the Morales strikeout, Terry Collins came out of the dugout to say, I don't think replay is working. So the reason for the 4-minute delay was not because we couldn't watch it, but was because there was no instant replay availability.
Yep.
Now, I think they probably wanted to stop the game because nobody could see it.
Well, I'm sure that was part of it.
Other than people.
Right.
The only people who could see it, Joe, were Paulo Orlando fans in Brazil. That's it.
Yeah.
Because it was the international feed.
And that's what they came back to with Viscursion and John Smoltz. And how much
better was that broadcast?
It was. and it definitely was better. And I couldn't believe it. They actually knocked those guys out of the booth to put Buck and Verducci and Reynolds back on.
Come on.
Well, what did you do that for?
That wasn't nice.
I thought that was a bad job. Let these guys until Fox gets the feedback, and you'll leave Excursion and Smoltz to win the game.
You know what the problem was, Joe?
Come on.
I think most people were enjoying that broadcast.
I thought they were good.
Hey, Matt Vasgersian is tremendous.
He's very
underrated.
And Smoltz is good too.
And no offense to the 3, but 2's better than 3.
Yeah, no doubt.
2's better than 3.
No doubt about that.
But last night was a gut wrencher, and I don't know if I'm crazy. I know I'm probably not making a lot of sense. I'm a Craze fan, and I'm devastated from last night. So correct me if I'm wrong here. Ernie said I was wrong. because of the way they lost last night, more than I would have thought yesterday, they got to win today. They got to win today. Am I crazy?
I don't like the way they lost last night either. I would be, like I said, I'd rather see them lose 10-0. They had it right there. You got to just so many things. I mean, the fact that they were, were able to come back and take the lead after Harvey gave it up. The fact that Addison Reed gave you a solid inning, 1, 2, 3 inning, I was stunned. Even Clippard, even though he gave up that double, he came back, he struck 2 guys out. And, of course, he eventually had to get bailed out by Familia. But the fact that they had it right there, 2 outs away from with the formula you want to win the game, that's what's so disheartening to me. That's really it.
And that's part of why
I got to watch
today.
my big guy give up that home run, and I'm not knocking him, but that's like you said, that's a gut-wrenching loss.
And because
right
they have the ace on the mound, the true ace, Jacob deGrom, they need to win today.
They need to win today.
And I remember, I hate to bring up 2000, but hey, that game was similar to 2000.
Same kind of game. I completely agree.
Jose Vizcaíno wasn't on the field.
Yep.
It wasn't a Paul O'Neill crazy at-bat, but it was an Alex Gordon home run, a David Wright error, and then a sac fly. Whatever. I looked at game 2, Mike Hampton against Roger Clemens, and said to myself going into Yankee Stadium, they have got to win this game. They have got to erase that feeling of losing game 1 in devastating fashion where they blew a 1-run lead in the 9th inning, and I feel the same way. I know the Met pitching is capable of winning 2 out of 3, or dare I say all 3 at City. I get that. But I really think tonight they have got to find a way to, A, hit Johnny Cueto, who's been very hittable, okay, and B, DeGrom's got to be the ace we all know he is. Mm-hmm. And I know DeGrom's been brilliant so far. They need another shade of brilliance from this guy because they got to win tonight. Because if they don't win tonight and they come back to City down 0-2, I get it. They got 3 games at home.
I don't expect them to sweep the 3 games at home.
Well, they need to.
Well, I'm saying, but exactly. That's why you're saying is not wrong. They need to win tonight because I don't expect them to win all 3 games at City Field. So, and I wouldn't feel great going back there down 3-2.
No.
And I
got to commend John Neese. Hell of a job, John.
It was good.
Joe and I, we've both killed this guy a lot over the years.
He's been good in the playoffs out of the bullpen. He really has.
He had. And even Bartolo wasn't terrible.
Good. Yeah.
And I give Familia this. I've said this a lot whenever he blew a save during the regular season. I would always say to you, Joe, you know what I love about him?
He didn't give up the lead.
He didn't give it up completely.
Right.
He gives up the lead, and then he keeps it there. And after he gave up that home run to Gordon, he very smoothly got the next 2 guys out.
Right.
So I am not concerned. Maybe I'm wrong here. I am not concerned about Familia tonight if he's in the exact same situation he was last night.
Well, let's hope he is. Because if he's in the exact same situation he was last night, then we know the Mets are ready to close out a win. So let's hope that that's the case.